I'm Michelle Montaine, and today MLS Next Pro is absolutely honored to be sitting down with Tony Beltran, Assistant General Manager for Real Salt Lake. And can we just start with you describing what exactly that entire role entails?
Sure, absolutely, and a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me. So as the Assistant General Manager for Real Salt Lake, I oversee the day-to-day operations and the longevity of our developmental side. So that includes Next Pro and also our Next teams, our Academy teams, the Real Monarchs, and our U15 and U17 Academy side.
A lot of those guys who get to use this beautiful facility. What went into the decision to build this really one-of-a-kind, state-of-the-art facility?
Ambition. And I think an understanding of the roster rules of MLS. Our previous owner, Doyle Hansen, saw an efficiency, and that's in collaboration with the front office, and that was that there's an obvious benefit on the cap side of having homegrown players play for your first team. And so we previously had our academy off-site in Arizona, which is also part of our territory, but bringing it in-house here in Utah allowed us the continued advantage of having all of our players under one roof. And so now, with housing the Monarchs and our academy full-time in our residential dormitory, on a given day we have the ability to pull players from each team, have them up for training, have them go down for opportunities, and do all of that instantaneously. So it's a huge advantage, it's a huge resource, and thank you so much for complimenting. It is a beautiful campus and we are very spoiled.
No kidding, it is beautiful for sure. But in terms of the impact you've seen it play on the field, can you talk a little bit about how it has shown up and how having all of these things under one roof has really generated value on the pitch?
Yeah, I think a really good example is reflected in our first team. And so for the last 5 years, Real Salt Lake has led the league in homegrown minutes played in the regular season. So it's a stat that I'm really proud of and our club is really proud of, and I think really just embodies what we're about, and that's development. And we've had for years a fantastic pipeline from our academy to the first team, which brought us great success. And now, again, in this new era with new ownership and renewed resources, we're even more excited and bullish about the opportunities for our academy players coming through the ranks and beyond.
One of those opportunities, obviously this MLS Next Pro Invitational, your second year hosting it. How does it help the club to be able to host an international tournament? What does it do for the club on the international stage?
It's a lot of fun. First of all, it's a lot of fun. And I think before speaking about the club, I'll reference for what it does to the players. As a former player myself, I think this is really important to hone in on. Look, any time you're going to challenge yourself against your international peers is really important. Important just because of the opportunity from a competitive standpoint, but also in development, having diversity in opponent, diversity in experiences, like anything in life, just propels everything forward. And so from a player standpoint, on the developmental side, I think it's wonderful what the MLS Next Pro has built here. And we're happy to be a partner in that, now and hopefully in future years. And then on the club side, again, I think it's just a great way to legitimize our developmental teams within the global landscape and to build relationships with European sides and to build future pathways and ties. And again, just to another indicator, another metric to challenge our players in a different environment.
You touched on two things there, the club side and the league side. Sure. So on that note, MLS Next Pro, only in its second year, how does what you guys have built here as an organization kind of provide a model for other clubs in MLS Next Pro to emulate?
Oh, that's first of all, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know. I think each market is unique, and so the setup. I think what Nashville is doing and having their MLS Next Pro team off-site in a different, almost secondary market is really interesting. And so I think it depends on the makeup of the team and the locale and the community and what works there. But for us specifically, one thing that we constantly hear from all of our peers in the landscape is that they're very jealous, very envious of the opportunities that our campus provides. And that's having all of our players, and that's from the 13, 14-year-olds all the way up to the professional players, on our campus 10.5 months out of the year. And that is a huge luxury because we get so many more touch points, so many more opportunities to influence the development of all of our players. And so I think one thing this campus does really well, and one thing that other markets maybe have tried to take away from us, is the ability for this campus or a setup like this to inspire development in an individual. because that's a real important component of teaching. It's not just conveying information and just saying words and teaching. It's inspiring others, inspiring students to take ownership of learning, right? To take ownership of their own careers, and I think our market does that really well.
Speaking of careers, you've spent almost all of your professional playing career with this club. So for you just personally, getting to be an assistant GM, getting to have a hand in helping develop these young guys, what does that mean to you?
It's very special. Thank you so much. I feel so fortunate. I definitely appreciate that this does not happen with every professional career, but being able to play the entirety of my career, my pro career in Salt Lake City, and now working in the front office for a club and for a community that really is a chief protagonist in my life is very special, very special. So I feel so fortunate to be part of this community, and I'm so thankful that the club still wants me.
Well, for good reason. Tony, thank you so much for the time.
My pleasure, thank you.
It's not every day we get to sit down with someone in the front office. This is Tony Beltran, Assistant General Manager for Real Salt Lake.